Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Good Morning Anambra this lovely morning. My name is Ajuluchuku Okabwe.
And my name is Obinna Ikechiko, a rare face, but I'm joining this morning's segment.
My name is Joma. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Anambra Wednesday edition. Kekunume. Okay, let's see how it goes today.
The show continues after this short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. As it's tradition here, welcome back. Well, we'll start our newspaper review this Wednesday morning with the news making headlines on ABS websites, and we have quite a couple of them here. And Soludo restates commitment to restate committee to judicious management of resources. That's the first story we have this morning. Anambra State Women Affairs Commissioner Ubinabo asks public to report individuals using name of ministry to perpetuate illegal activities.
We also have independent petroleum marketers in Anambra State here to comply with reduction in pump price of petrol. And also separatist fighters in Pakistan hold train passengers hostage. And then we have Morocco's Jaya Jalal to officiate as center referee in 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying matches between Rwanda and Nigeria.
Anambra State Commissioner Mrs. Obinabo tasked women to be agents of change in society. Umudioka Oka community in shock over murder of octogenarian Michael Nwobu by unknown persons.
NSF to host Nigeria's Scrabble Festival from April 11, 2025.
That's your field.
Yeah, that's...
I hope you are not going to leave us here.
No, he's a champion. I believe he's a national champion. So we are not speaking to a small person
I'm
here.
not going to abandon here. I will abandon us here and go for...
Until then, we'll get to know.
Okay.
Quickly, let's now begin with the newspapers, the dailies, and starting with the Daily Times. The banner headline is still talking about Tinubu to Fubara obeys Supreme Court judgment for peace. Wow, that's interesting.
Okay, but AJ, before we get to newspapers, let's look at some of these stories here, especially as it concerns independent petroleum marketers in Anambra State, yet to comply with reduction in pump price of petrol. Because I enter a filling station to buy fuel, you see 960 or something like that. I say, there has been a change. Why haven't you changed?
They will tell you that they are still selling the old product now. So
old product, no, they finish. No, since 2 weeks ago.
No, you see that normally in markets, people, when the prices go up, immediately the prices skyrocket. But when the prices go down, you find out that business persons, find it difficult to bring prices down, probably to recoup profit, the losses they had during the time they had, high prices or something like that. But petrol is something everybody uses now. So marketers, we implore you to, look into the situation, adjust the price. Things are really very difficult.
So is it a case of what goes up in Anambra doesn't come down?
It's not just an Anambra thing.
But we are looking at Anambra. The story said in Anambra. You understand? But
Yeah,
I know it's a Nigerian issue.
It's the Nigerian issue, but then particularly in Anambra State, people find it very difficult to adjust to price regulation. I think this is not the first time, and there are no proper agencies, authorities that will go out there like a task force and make sure that the pump price is strictly being adhered to. If you visit 5 different filling stations, I'm sure that they all are selling at different prices, and it's not the fault of the filling station owners, but if there was a task force that was up and doing to their own tax, that's when the regulation will actually be felt in this part.
Is it just that? It's not the fault of the filling station owners. It's my fault now. You heard there's an adjustment, you refuse to adjust, waiting for you to be chased around before you know you will adjust. I'm not just that. I'm not just that. Even But they can be, I mean, they can quickly adjust their meters. Is that that's what they call it?
Of course,
so
yeah.
that when you
meter.
buy 1 liter of a fuel, you are looking at half liters. And some people has resorted to buying in jerry cans to ensure that
the meter is complete. We see this all the time, and it's quite.
You buy 10,000 worth of fuel, and the thing, your fuel gauge will not even move from where it was. And you keep wondering what happened. Is the only air they pump there? These are some of the things that are supposed to be looked into.
And that's the job of the DPR. Occasional, random selection of filling stations to go do their check, their meter, and to even know the quality of fuel that they are selling. I hope it's not adulterated and the rest of it. But at the same time, some of these filling stations still go ahead and hand over brown envelopes to the officials of the DPR. And that's how this
You
works.
see where we are?
Yes.
Somebody will go and pack something and come, and then they say, what do they call it, light fuel? You buy fuel today, they say exhaust tomorrow, you go back, hey, what happened to your fuel? Hey, Auntie Noves, what they call light fuel, cable line this time.
So you should know whether you're buying solid or light fuel, right? So can we just quickly look at Soludo's restating commitment to judicious management of resources in the state? Why is this so important for us to look at this morning? Why is this so important? Because when you look at the situation around the country, you find out that governors are trying to actually manage resources. You see government, putting monies for things that are not really, I won't want to say reasonable, but things that are really not core. You see states budgeting money for fasting, for things that worrisome or rather things that are not basically needed. But the governor is saying, oh, we must make sure that whatever amount of money, or rather whatever...
The question is the committee that is being set up.
It's not a committee saying that should be commitment. It was.
No, they say restate committee.
No, it's not about a committee. I'm trying to make you understand. It's commitment, really.
That it must be a typographical error.
Yeah, so it's commitment, basically.
It's supposed to be commitment.
Now, if you're going to be restating commitment towards resource management, then that should cut across board. Cutting across board is that it has to start from the top and it will trickle down. If the people underneath you see how committed you are in managing the meager resources you are, nobody will go out there wanting to spend frivolously, you understand, the one that is assigned. So things like this is laudable. At the same time, it is what we call practice what you preach.
We need to see the practicability and all that.
You need to give us a practical example of it, how it's working.
And that's exactly what's going on. Because when I saw the story, I said, well, the person that's supposed to say this has already said it, because if you look at the kind of prudent management of resources in the states now, I think the other time I heard him say that what he has used in 3 years, that some other person or some other governor used it in 1 year. Okay? So it's a case of do as I do, not just as I say.
Yes.
Okay, so when you see your master managing resources very well, you don't have any other choice than it. Let me tell you a story of what happened between me and my friend commissioner, one commissioner that is supposed to be my friend. Okay, so I was just I said, oh boy, why they chop only you now? They give me, say, where is he waiting to chop? Now, Soludo government too. You are just depending on your salary. It's not business as usual. That money is not, moving the way it used to move. But this government is very tight and very, very strict in management of resources. That's why we find ourselves, okay, instead of scattering the money here and there, use it and do work for us, and it's happening.
Yeah,
I drove past this government, a new government house, was it yesterday? Man, I was marveled.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
not
and
just
a whole lot of things that is,
the road construction and how quickly these roads are done. Sometimes you see governors or government officials trying to use some of these basic infrastructures to propaganda, but it is not all we're seeing. We're seeing work. All right, let's quickly move into the national dailies and the national tabloids. We have the Daily Times, and on the Daily Times we have Tinubu to Fubara obey Supreme Court judgment for peace. All right, probably a lot of things happening behind the scene. Also have EFCC gets Supreme Court nod to probe Peter Deli's tenure. Okay, we also have IGP ban. IGP bans public parade of suspected criminals. All right, outbreak of meningitis kills 26 in Kebbi. Nigeria's foreign reserve exceeds $40 billion. This is coming from the finance minister. All right, let's quickly move into the next newspaper. We have the Vanguard newspaper.
And the Vanguard newspaper is coming up with the banner story. Rivers Council Fubara, Tinubu tells Niger Delta leaders. And then we also have riders there saying, if foresaw crisis festering for too long, Rivers' political crisis threats to national stability deserves more attention. That's coming from Attack. And we say, I'm committed to implementation of Supreme Court judgment, Fubara. Hunger as herdsmen bandit kill 42 in Benue, Nasarawa, Ondo. Suspend hike in ATM transactions, charges reps tell CBN. Diphtheria at King's College, Lagos government begins vaccination. And we have sports. A 2026 World Cup qualifier race, Chile drops Musa Iheanacho Okoye for Rwanda, Zimbabwe. And then we have also at the mast, Oando selected as preferred bidder for Guarakara refinery in Trinidad and Tobago. And that's the much we have on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, from the Punch newspaper, we'll have the story. Killing spree, anger over headers deadly attack in Ondo, Benue, Nasarawa, 30 killed. Oh my God.
Very unfortunate.
Ondo protesters, regent attack government over killings. Benue local government secretariat, palace razed. Gosh. Okay, ECOWAS, defense chief activist standby force, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. I love to see how they're being moved. Okay, down here, marketers project 800 naira per litre as imported petrol's cost drops. A 5 billion naira vehicle purchase deepens Obase Maranda feud. And then Tinubu meets Niger Delta leaders. Fubara plans meeting with pro-wicked lawmakers. I think that's all we have coming from here. Okay, up here, Natasha takes face off with the Senate to UN.
The battle is not stopping. It's not stopping anytime soon.
I'm telling you.
All right, we have the Daily Independent, and on the Daily Independent we have Tinubu says only rule of law will end reverse political crisis. And a kicker to that, we have respect for judiciary crucial in upholding democracy, harmony. To comply with Supreme Court judgment, says Fubara. Also have Supreme Court dismisses Ajayi's appeal against Governor Ayede Tiwa. IGP reinforces ban on public parade of suspects. We also have mass protests in Ondo over kidnap of 9 surveyors. Very unfortunate. You also have reps urge CBN to suspend ATM transaction fee hike. Okay, Anambra Guba, it's not easy to take government from incumbent. Ganduje tells APC aspirant. Ukraine accepts 30 days US brokered ceasefire. We also have ECOWAS activates standby force to fight terrorism. NIMET issues heat stress warning to 19 states, advocate intake of plenty water and others. All right, this is much we can give you from the Daily Independent.
Up next is the This Day newspaper, and we have Tinubu urges adherence to rule of law, asks Fubara to stoop to conquer. That's the banner headline. And then we have all the riders there saying, insists judiciary interpretations of nation's constitution must be respected. Charges Pandef to intervene. Council governor to pursue peace, part of peace and stability. Fubara, implementing Supreme Court verdicts, not about me. It's good for our state. Declares crisis has cost parties huge resources. Ada George seeks peace. Hope rises for truce as Ukraine agrees to US-led ceasefire. And then we also have Henneken Lokobiri, derelegation of the downstream oil sector benefiting Nigerians. And the rider says NNPC set to compete with best in the world. Federal government reiterates no plan to end Naira for crude initiative. Owando confirms selection as preferred bidder for 175,000 per barrels per day Trinidad and Tobago refinery. And then we also have here, federal government begins construction of second Niger Bridge bypass. NSITF presents 25 million compensation to National Assembly staff. That's all we have on this day newspaper.
Okay, let's find out what's going on in the nation. As we look at the Nation newspaper this morning, on top of the name templates, gas tanker fire under Odetola Bridge causes gridlock. And then NIMET predicts intense heat in 19 states. I just hope Anambra is one of the states. It's not one of the states. Okay, Natasha reports Senate to Interparliamentary Union. And then the banner headline says, Tinubu to Fubara, comply fully with Supreme Court verdict. Please go back home and help him implement those recommendations. President urges Pandef. Okay, down here, ECOWAS activates 5,000 strong standby force. And that's all coming from here. Okay, the next paper.
Well, we have the Guardian. On the Guardian, we have federal government may scale down concrete road projects over 73% spike in cost. We also have reps want new ATM charges suspended, pornographic websites banned. Edo government accuses PDP leaders of sponsoring insecurity. We also have Fubara amid impeachment threat. Tinubu charges Niger Delta leaders on peace and rule of law. We also have reps direct Nigerian army to release reports on Okwama killing. Nigeria's oil production drops as country ends $3 billion in February. Diphtheria outbreak. Lagos begins mass vaccination at King's College Annex. We also have Orlando expands Caribbean footprint with, I don't know what that is. Okay, Orlando expands Caribbean footprint with, yeah, okay.
Guararakara refinery.
I'm finding the design that wasn't, the design that wasn't one of the best.
Very faint.
Up next is Daily Trust newspaper for review this morning, and we're starting with the banner headline, Tax Reform Bills, Reps Committee proposes major changes. And then we have riders there, drops VAT increase, modifies inheritance tax. We also have sustains funding for TET Fund, NITDA, and NASENI. Meningitis kills 26 in Kebbi, 1 in Sokoto. Life expectancy in Nigeria now 54.6 years, below global average. And we have still talking about the Tinubu, Fubara, Wike. Well, you have to make that tripartite stuff there. Tinubu to Fubara implement Supreme Court judgments. And that's all we have on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Okay, looking at Nigerian Tribune this morning, Rivers crisis, Tinubu wants court rulings respected. Says if we lose Niger Delta, we lose the golden egg. Rivers crisis may have national consequences. This is coming from Pandev. Fubara says he is prepared to fully implement Supreme Court judgment. Okay, and then confesses past 16 months has not been easy. But up here, ECOWAS activates standby force to fight terrorism. And then Supreme Court opposes Ayedatiwa's victory, dismisses Ajayi's case. Okay, other stories coming from here. Protest rocks Ondo over abduction of another 9 surveyors. Can you imagine? Ocean local government crisis. APP files content. APP files content proceeding against APC local government chairman.
block all pornographic websites in Nigeria. Refs tell NCC, this is your problem. When people are being killed every day. 68 million poor Nigerians captured in National Social Register. U.S. mission Nigeria reaffirms robust relationship with EFCC. Any other story coming from here? No.
All right, finally on the blueprint this morning, we have Rivers crisis. Led Fubara adhere to the rule of law. Tinubu tells Pandef urges the council governor on return of peace. Supreme Court case probe of Odili's tenure 18 years after. All right, you're seeing 26 die of meningitis in Kebbi, 248 cases recorded. Lagos confirms fresh diphtheria begins vaccination. We also have NPC will deliver credible census to Nigerians. Issa Kwara assures. We also have Kabir Dangogo, a luminary in multiple realms. Farewell. All right, we also have CAF appoints Moroccan officials for Rwanda Super Eagles. Cracker. Federal government certifies NACO to handle radioactive materials, and these are the major headlines on the blueprint.
Well, that's so much we have there, but let's quickly begin to look at the papers one after the other, talking about stories that really should, will I say, raise our eyebrows here. And the story I want to begin here with is the banner headline of what we have on the Punch newspaper. But sincerely speaking, this is not kind of stories that we should be seeing on the front page of the daily newspapers. Talking about killing spree, anger over headers, deadly attacks in Ondo, Benue, Nasarawa, 30 killed. I don't understand the intel that the so-called non-government instrumentalities that are bringing mayhem to us will have this kind of coordinated attacks. Talking about this kind of thing happening in 3 different states, and they tagged it killing spree. As it's happening here, it's happening over there. And the other banner headlines are telling us about Fubara and Wike and the president telling Fubara to obey Supreme Court judgment. Is this country...
that one is even a national issue. I thought you wanted to say other headlines are talking about pornography. Why people are dying.
You know, sometimes
so you begin to wonder what is actually the problem with who we call leaders in this country. Nobody. How can ragtag team occupy some part of our forest and we have coordinated attacks? And then we have NSA, we have DHQ, we have the army, we have the Air Force, we have every paramilitary. Yet we can't fish out these people. Imagine they're even telling us anger over headers, deadly attacks in. That means something must have provoked these people for them to have gone on this rampage, to have gone on this killing spree. And nobody is picking this.
What provoked them?
I wouldn't know.
Came into a nation like Nigeria, and you are killing her citizens. Say what provoked you, and nobody is talking.
And nobody's talking.
Okay, don't these regions, I mean these constituencies, don't they have representatives in the House?
In the House.
Okay, nobody is talking in the Senate, nobody is talking in the
Nobody's
House
talking in the State
That
House.
my people are being killed. They make noise the way Natasha made noise when she was being sexually harassed. I cannot continue to talk here, continue to, deliberate over sexual matter when my people are being killed. Can't somebody do something?
The thing is, the heartbreaking thing about this is the numbers are more, actually.
This is a regulated.
Yeah. So, but for example, when you, I'm surprised that what's happening in Enugu, Ehamofu is even not on the tabloids. It's quite surprising. Where number of persons are reportedly being killed. A lot of protests going there. Been going through the newspaper headlines for the past few days, and I've really not. So these things are actually heartbreaking. As much as people are talking, that's the truth. People are talking on the social media platform. People are talking, but
what are the leaders saying?
That's the big issue. What are the leaders? It's not about saying. It's not about saying now. It's not about saying. It's about doing. What are the leaders doing?
Let us start by saying,
exactly,
because I've not heard anything. I've not heard a kind
it's
of
most important. Yes, it's most important because when it comes down, that's when the propaganda comes in. You know, a leader or a House of Rep member or a Senate or a senator can come up to say, "Oh, we condemn the killings and all that," but nothing is being done. Hands are still being kept akimbo. So the government needs to be proactive. And especially in the situation in Nigeria where the governors have little or no, power to direct the security agencies. Talk about the Nigeria police or the, what's it called, or the Nigerian army. They must have to call the IGP and the IGP approves, or they must have to, contact the GOC or the Chief of Army Staff or something like that. So
talking about
these are some of the issues.
Now you're talking about the military. The same military are here talking about having standby force to woo Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. These are countries that have felt that there is no need. You understand? Being tied to the aprons of our colonial masters, we want to break free and liberate our continent, starting with our country. But Nigeria is still there, trying to woo these people, and yet your own country
is on fire.
Is being ravaged.
It's on fire.
By people that we don't even know their origin and what they are even fighting for. We don't even know.
You are concerned about regional security, where there is no security
in your own country.
Some of these things are triggered by regional security because some of these killers come from outside
you see them
the country. But what are you doing within to push them out?
The truth is, the ECOWAS situation is more like a continental issue, in fact, an international issue, because when you look at the position of ECOWAS at the moment, Nigeria also see that lots of interest, political interest, resources interest, lots of mineral resources, lots of trade going on and all that. So probably this is one of the reasons. And the vision for Africa at this point is really not a good one, because if these three Sahel countries, the likes of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger Republic, actually does separate themselves from the ECOWAS, it's a lot of trouble for us, because it means if I want to go to Niger Republic, I'll have to buy their passports, I'll have to go through a whole lot of processes and a whole lot of that.
They said, even at the ECOWAS summit held sometime, these three countries said transaction, business can still go on between our countries and the rest of Africa. Nothing has changed. But the issue is that they don't want to be under that umbrella of ECOWAS.
That's what they will say.
And the reason is not far-fetched. These are now military junta regimes. You understand? And they don't see, and they don't want to be tied to the apron of their colonial masters. These guys are francophone countries, and they don't want to be using.
No, aside that, this country, when you look at the persons, the countries that are being, will I say, backed by, you see, they're still very much in cohorts with, will I say, probably not the colonial masters this time, but the whites too. Russia and some other country, China and all that. As much as they are also bringing development and all that, but the point I'm trying to make is separation, division at this time for Africa and even West Africa should not be the best option.
In as much as they are trying to set this force, saying that it is for regional policing. But the fact remains that some analysts are saying, I hope you are not gathering these guys up to fight the Sahel countries.
Yeah, exactly, because what are 5,000 armed forces, armed men doing? Telling us you're fighting Boko Haram. It's a lot. 5,000. Lots of concern. Lot of talks about Macron, that's the president of France, trying to have a proxy war with Russia and all that. So we hope this is not it, because what this automatically does mean is that we're going to lose lives, African lives.
No, they will ravage this place.
Yeah, we're going to lose lives. We're going to see lots of insecurity in some part of Western Africa and a whole lot. So this is not what. So I urge.
And when it does happen, who benefits? The same people
Yeah.
Okay, that will ask you to go
gonna
to
be-
war,
and
kill
then
yourselves.
the mineral resources
You
are
know,
going to flow to this country. So
you just have to be very
we hope at the end of the day these countries come together, and or best ECOWAS, if these three countries are saying they do not want to be, but just let them be. On the long run, there should always be a peaceful way to discuss this instead of losing life and spending money unnecessarily on war.
Well, talking about the Daily Times, the banner headline, Tinubu to Fubara obeys Supreme Court judgment for peace. Sincerely speaking, every rational thinking Nigeria will understand that for the president to have come in to make his own comment in this issue happening in Rivers State, I think they are beginning to permutate towards 2027 general elections. That's the only reason, that's the only iota, you understand, of, there's no iota of doubt in that. When you think of Kanu, you think of Rivers, you think of Lagos, and Oyo. These are four major states. There may be Katsina, Kaduna there. But these four states are the power brokers when it has to do with swinging election votes. So nobody in his right thinking sense haven't secured Lagos under APC regime, even though Kanu is still under NNPP. We believe that by the time the election is approaching, Ganduje will probably swing his magic wand and let's see if something can happen there. But they don't want to lose Rivers, because Rivers really did them a huge favor last time out. So I think the permutation of 2027 is the reason why the president is now wading in to say, young man, I think it's better you obey the Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court, in all ramifications, where this is based on my own opinion, you understand? You don't shift an election that was just done when? Now you're taking it that far to August. That's too lengthy a time, you understand? A lot of things could happen within that period. And now you're telling us to obey the Supreme Court. So I think this young man is being boxed to a corner. Now the president is into it, throwing his own weight. Wike has done his might, done all the old things he could do, and now probably has whispered into the president's ear, you need to step in. 2027 is just around the corner. So I don't really know if these guys, when they make their permutation behind closed doors, and then we now see the repercussions, you understand, on the faces of the dailies, they think that Nigerians don't actually know what they are scheming for.
The thing is, when you also look at Rivers, it's not just about the the elections. Of course, it's also very important. But when you go through the report, you see that it's more like the desire to still control the resources of Rivers State. Rivers State cannot, when you talk about how much they give to the federal government of the country in terms of resources, in terms of taxation and all that. Remember, in the time of Wike, it was about that, and now it's not just about the elections. Amid the report about how the election did go during that time. It talks about whether the APC did win, or the Labour Party did win, or the PDP did win. So lots of talks around what actually did happen in Rivers State in the last time. But now it's more like the president really, from his body language, the federal government basically want to really control the resources, and like you said, trying to indirectly box Siminala Ifubara to a certain corner, to say, in as much as you be governor and a whole lot of things been going on, we wouldn't want you to have certain, we wouldn't want you to be so powerful at the same time. You have to, in as much as you're a governor, but you have to let some of these things be. So probably one of the reasons why the mechanism of the judiciary and the court is coming in and all that. So let's see how that happens for.
Well, the Supreme Court has made their pronunciation, but if you look at what the Supreme Court said, you'll be wondering what kind of judge would do a thing like that. You gave everything to the opponent without even awarding one single judgment to the person that even brought the matter. But that's, if you look at the the outcome of that Supreme Court judgment, you'll find out that that's exactly Wike's template. is exactly what he wants. He wants to take control of the National Assembly. They are giving him condition now. You have to sack all your commissioners. You have to cancel the local government elections you have done. You have to cancel the budget and, you know, represent it, and a whole lot of things. When you do this to a sitting governor, excuse me, when you do this to a sitting governor, what have you done? You have, you know, taken away powers from that, that person. Well, you may see Fubara smiling, but I don't trust that smile in him. Though he has agreed that he's going to obey the Supreme Court order, you know, to the later. But then let's watch out what plays out in the next 1 or 2 weeks, because Fubara is not alone. Okay,
you can see them.
In as much as Wike is I don't know whether he's working for PDP or working for APC, but you know that both of them are PDP products, Wike and Fubara. And then the next question you're going to ask, what is the take of PDP as a political party in all of this? What I don't understand the kind of oppositions we have. Okay, what are you doing to secure position for your own person? What are you doing to make this person feel that, oh, don't worry, we are here behind you. We're not going to allow these people to rubbish you? Nothing. Everybody is busy running around for their regional whatever they're doing. It's okay. Let's watch out what happens.
You were talking about investigations on Peter Delay, and, you know, there have been a lot of talks about Peter Delay, you know, giving lots of, will I say, moral support to Simonala Fubara. So we hope it's not related to that, you know. So
that's witch hunting from APC, you might say. Yeah, some other stories that is worthy of mentioning. Ijoma was talking about how whimsical, you understand, the Senate is talking about banning of pornography sites when we have so many issues bedeviling the nation. And then sometimes you begin to wonder what these people actually sit down there in the hollow chambers and really do. Because while we're beginning to wonder what pressing needs Nigerians need to be quickly, immediately addressed. Not too long ago, the president was talking about addressing the issue of Japa syndrome among Nigerian youth, setting up committee, youth confab, and the rest of it. I don't think setting up committee or youth confab will stop any meaningful Nigeria that has the means to seek greener pastures. All you need to do is just fix what is broken here. You just fix what is broken. You know, and then you see Nigerians over there. Do you know that if you carry out a survey of 1 million Nigerians living outside Nigeria, if they would prefer to come back to this country, if they have 50% benefits of what they enjoy in the country where they are, the host country, 1 million of them will tell you they're coming back to Nigeria. If they can get 50% of what is obtainable, not 100%, just 50% of what is obtainable where they are, I'm telling you, 1 million of them will come back into this country. And that's all what we need here. You need to sample the opinion of people that have left and the reason why they have left. Not holding a comfort with those that are here. You understand?
Okay. While we'll look at that, but briefly before we go, how do you see the call from the House of Reps for the pornography sites to be shut down?
You know, we may see it as irrelevant, but in trying to get a lot of things done, some things that we think that are irrelevant has to be, you know, looked into. And if pornography sites are being shut down, probably to encourage young persons and people to be more productive, of course it will be.
Has any of them been shut down?
It will be a great. How will I know?
Hey,
how will I know?
I thought you do.
How will I know now? They will be the ones to tell us. They will be the ones to tell us.
You're too smart.
How will I know?
But actually, in some crimes, there are no sites of.
Yeah,
such.
you go to China.
Yeah, Indonesia. You understand?
Russia too.
In some countries, they don't need that. But that wasn't what they did in order to get to where they are. You understand? The reason why they did that was because they wanted to keep the ideology, the culture, tradition of their own people. And they didn't want Western, will I say, proliferation into ideas and stuff like that. But now, That is the least of our problems in this part of the
Who said it's the least of our problems?
It's a major, believe me,
it's
it's a
They have
major
seen it
issue
as a
now.
problem, even
You
when
see
we have
addictions, you see
a whole,
people
a whole lot of
being...
things.
You have
Addiction,
drug-
you're on
you
your
have-
own. If you
you
want
have-
to get addicted to it, it's your business.
No,
We are hungry. That is what is affecting everybody. Okay, if they want to shut down hunger sites, that's where we'll start clapping for them, so that nobody will be hungry in this nation. Leave all this. You are too religious, and then you are not even living a religious life. You want to show the world that you are religious, because that's the reason the guy was giving there. It's so annoying. I didn't even want to talk about that. Let's go, Abeg.
Now that's the much we can take this morning on press review. My name is Ajilichukwu Okabwe.
And my name is Obinna Ikechukwu.
I am Ijoma Uche. Do stand by for the discussion segment now.